What's going on, Hell fam, Hellcats, Ghoulies, and Hellhounds, whoever the hell is watching or listening at this point, because we have another podcast, ladies and gentlemen, Hellcats and Hellhounds, the Hellions in the Hellzone, where your favorite Hellions from the Hellzone come to you once a week and we talk about what's going on in horror, or we just review a horror movie, or listen, we're just going to talk horror. That's what we do here in the Hellzone. And I have some of your favorite, and I do mean favorite, Hellions here today to join me in our first episode. First off, my PIC, basically Brittany, is in the building. How the hell are you?
Hey. I'm good.
We have Brittany. So next up, we have the Hell Wizard himself conjuring up the dark magic and putting this podcast all together. Techno Wizard, how the hell are you?
What's going on, everybody? It's Techno Wizard here. I'm doing fantastic. I'm here. I'm in the Hell Zone. I'm ready to get down to some mischief.
Let's do it. I'm excited. And of course, we have the Supreme herself, Joanna from the Coven of Screams. How the hell are you?
Hello, little ghoulies. How are you guys doing? Right?
We are doing amazing. And for the first time ever, ladies and gentlemen, the Queen has got off of her throne and decided to join the Hellions for the very first episode of the Hellions in the Hellzone. The Hell Queen herself, Jazzy, is in the building. How the hell are you, my wife?
Everyone.
Awesome. So we have the whole gang here tonight. And so for the first episode, I really wanted to talk about something that we all have in common, right? We all love horror, but there's so many genres in horror. And one of our favorite subgenres in horror is the slasher genre. I mean, there's been so many great slashers over the years. Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Scream, just to name a few. Of course, those are my favorites, but you guys want to talk about something more underrated? I mean, we talk about Scream and Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street. We talk about all the big ones all the time. I mean, if you go look at my page, I mean, that's basically what we cover all the time. But they're the best. But are there some underrated slashers out there? And I thought that would be a good first topic for our podcast. So today, ladies and gentlemen, Hellcats and Hellhounds, we are going to give you our favorite underrated slasher that we feel like deserves more praise. And you guys can comment down below at home and tell us what your favorite underrated slasher is. We are going to go ahead and give you our picks for the most underrated slashers in our opinions. Now, of course, this is our opinions. Your opinion might be different, but that's what's great about the Hellzone is we all come together and we talk about this thing we call horror, and you can have your own, favorites, your own biases, and you will not be judged. Just like the panel tonight will have a, their own, thoughts and stuff, but I will be judging. That's just what I do. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. First up, we're going to go with, who do we want to go with? Jazzy, who do you want to hear from first? Who do you think should go first on naming their most underrated slasher?
I'm just very intrigued to see what Techno Wizard has to say.
Hell Wizard, you have been summoned from the darkness. Tell the Hellcats and Hellhounds, what is your most favorite underrated slasher?
All right. So I was talking a bit about it before we started recording, but I took a little liberties with it. I did a little bit of research. I cheated, as the Hellmaster would say.
Yeah. Now, hold on. You weren't the only one to be cheating, okay? Brittany, were you cheating? I don't know if you was cheating. I know Coven was cheating.
Not you calling us out like this.
I wouldn't call it cheating. We were doing research. We were, analyzing.
So look, all of them were cheating. Even look, I'm on stream. I'm cutting that part out. I never cheated. I'm going this blind, y'all. Okay.
Got the recording. You want me to?
All right. Remember the name. What's the name?
Not receipts. All right. So Techno Wizard. So you did your cheating. What you got?
So I feel like this slasher is very underrated for the simple fact that it is not in the typical medium that slashers are normally in. It was later adopted to a film, and it had some very nice scenes and some very slasher goody bits that we got to enjoy. But my choice for underrated slasher is going to be Pyramid Head from Silent Hill.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a good pick.
This, I don't even know if I can call him a guy. This guy, number one, he has it all. All right, he's absolutely terrifying looking. Literally has a giant metal pyramid for a head. You can't even have any facial cues as to what his emotion is, but you know he's always angry and he's always ready to. And
Right.
most importantly, I think my favorite part about the actual character behind Pyramid Head is it goes back to you said earlier, Day, about that horror story of the creature inside of you.
Yeah.
Pyramid Head is that manifestations of the fears and the regrets and the concerns. And while we have that idea of what Pyramid Head looks like, to every person, it can take a different form depending on what your concerns, what your doubts, what your fears are. And there is no stopping him until you stop your fears, until
Right.
you finally commit to yourself. And just that it takes that one step further of what slashers are talking about and really takes a meta perspective about it. And it allows you to really think, wow, what are my fears? What are my insecurities? What are the things that I struggle with? And to have a physical manifestation of them coming at you and literally forcing you to face your fears, both mentally, emotionally, and now physically, running away with giant swords and knives, cutting steel and running after you, and not to mention you're in Silent Hill, which is just a horrible place in general. You are feel totally helpless, and it's exactly what you want out of a slasher. And because it was in video games for so long, not a lot of people play video games that really get to enjoy that. So to all the people who the Silent Hill movie was their first introduction, they're like, oh my god, who is this guy? This guy's crazy. And the mark he left is really what puts him in that upper echelon of slashers for me, and no one really talks about him.
Everything you said is true. I mean, I for one, like Techno Wizard, grew up playing video games, and I remember playing Silent Hill and literally not being able to get past like the first 15 minutes because it was just truly and utterly terrifying. Same with Resident Evil. So I mean, and another thing about Pyramid Head that I find, you know, intriguing is that it's almost, you know, he's almost in pop culture the same way Jigsaw, or, you know, he has outgrown his franchise. Like Jigsaw the puppet really wasn't anything in Saw. I mean, he was a puppet that, you know, had voice recordings on it, but he is bigger than life, and so is Pyramid Head. I mean, when you go to haunted houses, if you see somebody dragging a really long, you know, axe or sword, that came from Silent Hill. Like that wasn't a thing before Pyramid Head. And when you see somebody, you know, with a faceless big ass pyramid, I mean, of course that's Pyramid Head. So I think Silent Hill is an underrated series. It is a really good series. And Pyramid Head is a great underrated slasher. Out to my best friend Alan. He wants me to review that movie so bad. He has been messaging me for at least 2 years. And every time he sees me post a movie review, he's like, "So you still haven't done that Silent Hill review yet?" And I guess you know what? I'm going to tag team that review with Techno Wizard. Me and Techno Wizard are going to tag team that review for you, Alan. So thank you for that. So that was a great pick, Techno Wizard. We're off to a great start. Next up, let's go ahead and get. Who shall we pick? Okay, so Jazzy has pointed to the screen. Of course, it's gonna be my PIC, basically
I knew
Britney.
it. I knew
Yeah.
it. See, I felt it in my sixth sense. Something
So
was tingling.
it's that twitches you because your girls are twitches. You guys are twin witches. Basically, Brittany, can you tell the people what your most underrated slasher is of all time?
Okay, so you said you probably were gonna guess mine, but I bet it's gonna shock you when I say it. Because no, it is not a Scream movie. It is none of the Scream movies. Because to me, none of them are underrated. They're all amazing movies, and I will fight anyone who says differently. They're all amazing in their own way. But my underrated slasher is Sleepaway Camp.
Ooh.
I love that movie. The first time I saw it, it caught me from the very beginning. I just could not stop watching it. I had to finish to see one, what was up with Angela? What was up with the creepy auntie, which we really never figured out what's up with the creepy auntie. She was getting creepy for her own reasons. I'm okay with that. And then I wanted to figure out who the killer was. And it did not surprise me that it was Angela, because you push a person we learned it with Carrie.
Mhm.
You push a person so far, they start doing things, to get their point across. Anti-bullying.
Yeah.
If I was a teacher, these are the type of movies I would show in school during that time where they do anti-bullying rallies. I would show Carrie. I would show Sleepaway Camp to be like, you don't mess with people.
Mhm.
Because when you mess with people, you never know what they limits are that will make them come back for you.
And I think, shout out to Pretty Killer Podcast because she recently just reviewed this on the page. That movie, when it came out, was crazy. I wasn't alive in the 80s. But just like Brittany said, there's two anti-bullying movies that you need to see if you want to stop bullying. One, Carrie. But if you really, really want to stop bullying, you need to watch Sleepaway Camp. Do you guys remember your first time watching Sleepaway Camp? Because I remember my first time. Okay, Jazzy, go ahead and tell the people about your first time watching Sleepaway Camp.
Okay, so I remember when I finished that movie, I literally had reoccurring nightmares, literally of just the end where her face is just like in shock.
Mm-hmm.
And that would just be my whole nightmare, was just that face and the music. And it just terrified me. I don't know who chose that to be the final shot. I don't know why just her having her mouth open like that was so freaking scary. But I mean, that shit bothers me now.
I too had a nightmare of that scene. It was because of her face and the music.
It's like where it gets stuck. It's
And
terrifying.
side note, that wasn't actually the girl that was playing Angela throughout the whole movie. It was actually a mask. They made her face and put it on a boy's body.
Well, it was scary.
Wow, I
And
never knew
never
that,
knew
Brittany.
that.
Yeah, I never knew
So I
that.
was, so I was stuck like that, and that's why I looked so weird, and that's why
That's
it did
why we
punch
had
your dream.
nightmares.
It was a mask. It was a mask. Oh man, I never knew that. And again, that's why you gotta follow Basically Brittany. She is my PIC, and when I tell you she knows shit about movies that you shouldn't know, that's one right
I know
there.
that actress makes that face at all the conventions.
Oh, yeah.
I always avoid her. I'm like, you're already in my nightmares.
I'm surprised her face hasn't got stuck like that. Seriously, like she does
Yeah,
that.
like that's so weird.
What is her name? Felicia Rose? Felicia?
Oh,
It's something
yeah,
like that.
Felicia Rose.
Oh, you guys are coming up with some fire right now, and I guess I'm saving me for last. I don't know how this happened because I have to hear Joanna's fucking pick from Covenant Screams. I mean, she is a die-hard slasher fan. So, Joanna, the beautiful Joanna, can you tell us your most underrated slasher of all time?
Yes. So I say this is underrated and also like underappreciated in a sense, but mine is Candyman.
Ooh.
I think that obviously he was popular when the first movies came out, and then when Jordan Peele did the remake, I think he got a little like bump, but I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. I think that he can be up there with the Freddys, the Jasons,
Yeah.
everything like that. I mean, what he's number one. I love like urban legends and myths and stuff because you can't kill them; they don't die. They're
Right.
generation after generation. I've never done the Candyman in the mirror because I'm not gonna run away from Candyman. I'm gonna be dead.
Right.
So I just like that it does not matter if you are, if you were born 20 years ago, if you're gonna be born 20 years from now, that name like will always be an urban legend. Would always be like, oh my gosh, is it really? Like, should
Yeah.
I do it? And he only had a hook. He didn't do anything else. He just had his little hook hand.
Right. And
he
I
was
mean,
a slashing.
and I mean, I love Jazzy just chuckled so hard. And he was just a slashing.
He was.
He was just hash slinging slashing,
Just to people that put
The hash
his name in their
thing,
mouth.
That's the thing. He
name.
said, I'm not gonna play with you. Don't play with me.
Next up, we have the beautiful queen, Hell Queen Jazzy. So, Jazzy, tell us your most favorite underrated slasher of all time.
Okay. So, my underrated slasher I chose for actors, storyline, and I had to choose Hatchet. Because Hatchet does not get a lot of credit.
That's a good one.
You literally brought Robert Englund.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, here. You brought Freddy Krueger, Candyman, and Jason. Put him in one movie, and people just don't talk about it. I liked the Victor Crowley storyline. I liked, that they're just all having fun in Louisiana, hanging out, and get on that boat.
Yeah.
Get on that boat and just start really disturbing his peace. His kills were very gory. They were very entertaining to me. And I don't know why people don't talk about it enough.
Yeah. And I mean, and to go back to Joanna real quick, because I feel like we went right over hers, but the legendary Tony Todd both plays as Candyman, which, that was his debut to, us horror fans. And Jazzy's favorite all time. I mean, you cannot. This is over. Nancy, Nev Campbell, like Tony Todd is Jazzy's favorite horror actor of all time.
He is so nice.
Yeah, we got to meet him one time, and they just literally. I thought she was gonna leave me for this, 60-year-old man. I'm not gonna lie, like it was crazy.
He was so nice, and like the lady kept trying to rush me, and he just kept stopping her.
Yeah, and it was great. And to go back to what Joanna said, I mean, Candyman. I mean, how many urban legends is there? There's Candyman, but what was the other urban legend?
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary. That was another one. The Bell Witch was another one. And I mean, so
the Bell Witch is real.
Yeah.
We are from Tennessee. We know.
We all gotta go there. We gotta go check out the Adams.
Go where?
It's the Bell family farm.
Adams, Tennessee, where the Bell Witch is.
Yeah.
It's like basically saying, let's go to Texas and go to where they did the Chainsaw Massacre.
I was like, you trying to get some stuff attached?
I mean, we have a witch with us with Joanna. I mean, come on now. We'll be
Well, how about y'all go and then FaceTime me. So it's like
FaceTime you.
I just recently found out that Tennessee has like a Bell Witch festival in October.
Yeah.
Yes, a festival, and it's just witchy and insane. And Joanna, we're going.
Joanna, you have to go.
I will be gallivanting. Let's go.
Let's go. But back to Hatchet. I mean, the story of Victor Crowley itself is just amazing, right? It brought back Kane Hodder, Robert Englund, Tony Todd in one movie, and they played roles that you really felt, right? And like Jazzy said, I mean, if you come onto his property, right? Shout out to Tucker and Dale versus Evil. If you come on his property, he's gonna kill you. And
He's like the original Shrek. He just wanted his swamp.
Yeah.
Looking for his daddy.
For your Hellmaster's most underrated slasher film of all time, in my opinion. Okay, and this is just my opinion. And all of the panel have their opinion, and you might have your own opinion, and it's okay. But as I do my stalling for my, cheating here that I'm doing, my favorite underrated slasher of all time. That's a great question, Techno Wizard. I'm just joking. I got
When-
this.
When you're trying to hit the word count on an essay.
Oscar speech.
All right, but no, for real, my favorite underrated slasher of all time has to be the 2006 film. You see how I cheated there? It's 2006. See No Evil. Oh, ladies
I
and
knew you'd
gentlemen,
pick
Hellcats and Hellhounds. I am such a big wrestling fan. Now, I don't keep up with it as much as I should, but I'm a huge wrestling fan. And let me take you back to 2006 when your little Hellmaster was just watching TV and these little, movies. It wasn't even a movie trailer. It was like, Techno, you remember, where
I remember.
yeah, like it was like you would just be watching wrestling out of nowhere, a commercial that just said May 19th, May 19th, May 19th, May 19th. And it was so fucking spooky. You had no idea what was happening on May 19th. They said something in WWE was going to happen on May 19th. And then so May 19th comes and this great movie, slasher movie starring the one and only Kane came out, and it was called See No Evil. And I remember the first time watching this movie, my stomach almost churned. Like, it was so disgusting. I mean, just all of it, the premise of it. I mean, the way it opens it's very House of Wax-ish, right? I don't know if you guys have seen House of Wax, but the story of Vincent is almost, identical to the story of Kane's character in See No Evil. When it comes to, child abuse, and I mean, Kane was locked in a cage in that movie. And then, you have these group of men and women who come to where Kane is at. And I mean, Kane is literally giving them hell. And, it's the hook to the eyeballs. I mean, the kills were crazy. And this was just a WWE movie. This was one of the first big WWE movies. I mean, this was before John Cena's The Marine. This was before, Triple H's, shitty movies that came out in the late 2000s. But I mean, to see what See No Evil did for the slasher genre for that time where, slashers were basically dead. I mean, you had no good slashers out there. You had movies like House of Wax coming out, Hatchet was just coming out on the scene. But when it came to, blockbuster slasher movies, you had to look at WWE because they were the only ones doing it. You had your remakes and stuff, but with somebody doing a fresh idea, that never came out until See No Evil. And what's so great about See No Evil is that it actually got a sequel, and the sequel came out like maybe 11 years later, but Danielle Harris is actually in the sequel, and she did really good in that movie. It's one of my favorite Danielle Harris's movies. Yeah, Catherine was in it. What was it, Catherine Isabel?
Yep.
Catherine Isabel was in it. I mean, it's a great cast in See No Evil too. And the fact that it got a sequel, again, this was a WWE movie. This wasn't like a Miramax or a Spyglass or a Paramount. Like, this was WWE. This was not to be taken seriously. And it literally scared the shit out of people because it was just a good slasher movie. You have some really good kills. They're really campy. The movie itself was shot beautifully. I mean, it gives you that dark, grimy look. And I mean, and Kane, I've said for the longest, Kane, I forget what his real name. What is Kane's real name, Techno Wizard? I forget.
Glenn Jacobs. Glenn
I know
Jacobs.
that.
I mean, he is the mayor of Knoxville.
He
But
is the
I've
mayor of
said for the longest, Glenn Jacobs needs to audition for Kane. I mean, not Kane, but Glenn Jacobs needs to audition for, I said Kane because of Kane Hodder, for Jason. I feel like Glenn Jacobs, in his prime now, I don't know about now because he's a little older, but a prime Glenn Jacobs Kane as Jason Voorhees, that is definitely what the fucking doctor ordered, because he's literally a wrestler. I mean, talk about body movement. Kane could probably do it all. So I think See No Evil was one of the most underrated slashers. It came and went and had a really good sequel, and I think it deserves more praise. All right, so now that we have told you guys our most underrated slasher, it is now your guys' turn to tell us your most underrated slasher in the comments down below. But before we get the hell out of here and out of your ear or out of your screen, however you're watching us, I do want to say, if you guys enjoyed this week's episode, you are really going to like next week's episode. So we did slashers this time, and like I said, we talked slashers a lot, and it's fun, but this podcast is meant to do stuff that we normally don't do on the page, right? We always talk about slashers, and we are going to talk more slashers here on this podcast, but I feel like TV series never gets enough love. Like, we talk a lot of movies, right? We talk so many movies. There's so many movies out there, but there are not that many good TV series out there. But there is one iconic horror TV series out there that has been out there for almost 15 years now, if I'm not mistaken, and that's American Horror Story. So what we're going to do is we are going to give you our favorite season, only one, of American Horror Story. Now, I know that's hard for basically Brittany. I know that's hard for Jazzy. I know that's hard for Joanna. And Techno Wizard, I hope you've seen at least one season of American Horror Story. If not, you got some homework to do, brother. And I give you a good one to watch. But yes, it will be American Horror Stories. And then look, Techno Wizard, I promise you, you got the next pick after that one. Okay, we're gonna get what you want on here. And I know you want to talk some Art the Clown, and we will make that happen. So join us. Join us next week as we give you our favorite American Horror Story season, and we're going to go down memory lane, talk about certain scenes, talk about certain episodes, certain characters. It's going to be a real fun time. So make sure you subscribe to your Hellmaster. Make sure you subscribe to basically Brittany. Make sure you subscribe to Techno Wizard, Joanna of Coven of Screams, and make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms. And also make sure you subscribe to our new podcast page, the Hellions in the Hellzone, where we will be posting this podcast and you can hear us in our entirety. This is the Hell Fam. This is the Hellions in the podcast, and you can check us out on all social media platforms. But for now, we must be bidding you a farewell. We will see you guys on the other side. Peace. Give me the hell.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.